Well, as I sat there enjoying that so much, I couldn't help but remember our dear Dean Emeritus, George Francis Ralston, who we've all talked about, some of us have talked about this morning already, who always talked about the importance of the alma mater being sung with such gusto and energy, and that just came so through to us today, so thank you so very much. But Professor Simon, Professor Thomas, and all of our musicians in the chorus and the civic band, I know I speak for everyone here when I say thank you for all of your work and special efforts you put into making this program so special today. Thank you. President Leahy has invited Reverend Scott R. Pilarz, President of Marquette University, to be our keynote speaker this morning. Prior to arriving at Marquette in 2011, Father Pilarz served as president of the University of Scranton, where President Leahy served as his executive vice president. A bit later in today's ceremony, Father Pilarz will receive the honorary Doctor of Humane Letters degree, at which time we'll have the opportunity to share much more information about Father Pilarz's impressive career. As the installation committee worked with Pat on the planning for this ceremony, it was always clear to us that having Father Pilarz join us was an important ingredient to making this day memorable. We're indeed honored to have Father Pilarz join us today. Father Pilarz.
Members of the Wilkes University community, trustees, faculty, staff, alumni, students, it is a tremendous privilege to be here with you to celebrate the installation of my dear friend, Patrick F. Leahy, as the 6th president of this esteemed institution. Here in Wilkesboro, in this beautiful region of northeastern Pennsylvania, that will always feel like home to me. It is a blessing to be with you, to celebrate this historic day. Together at Wilkes, we celebrate the merging of two narratives into one glorious story. The first is the rich history of Wilkes, with its mission of delivering a transformative educational experience to its students, whatever their economic background. I know this story well as a neighbor, observing the work that goes on here, and I have the deepest admiration for your mission. You all know intimately this same glorious mission, from the effect that it has had in your lives and in shaping your passions. The second story that we celebrate today, the distinguished career of Patrick Leahy, is one whose spirited rise and ever-deepening commitment to the noble work of higher education I could hardly know better. So today, it is impossible for me to hide my enthusiasm for what lies ahead for you at Wilkes under Patrick's leadership. Although the environment that we all face in academia is a daunting one, I have the utmost confidence that Patrick will position this university community to do everything in its power to meet our challenges and to capitalize on opportunity. Under Patrick's leadership, you will all be encouraged to work together. Wilkes University and Patrick Leahy, you have some incredibly important work to do together. At this point, I have to open my heart to tell you the pride and joy I feel not only for Patrick, but also for Amy and their remarkable children, Grace, Molly, Jack, and Brian. You know that I consider you all part of my family, and today is a great day for you. You see, I got to know Patrick a long time ago. In my early days as a Jesuit, I was a young teacher assigned to Loyola High School in Towson, Maryland, when Patrick was a member of the senior class. An interesting fact, Patrick was already presidential material in those days. He was the president of the student government at Loyola High School. I didn't ever teach Patrick in the classroom, but I advised him in student government activity, where already his leadership skills were remarkable. His self-confidence and motivational abilities were already off the charts for someone his age. And even then, as now, as you will learn, Patrick wears his passion on his sleeve. When Patrick cares about something, he will unashamedly let you know it. When he became interested in attending my college alma mater, I was excited and decided to introduce him to the campus myself. We drove to Georgetown, where I introduced him to a few of my all-time favorite educators. One of them, the theology professor Otto Hintz, the other, the university president, Father Tim Healy. During his undergraduate days, Patrick kept alive these relationships. From a close distance, Patrick saw Tim Healy pursue his vision of a university as a community where educational experience is truly transformative and leaves students forever able to distinguish between knowledge and ignorance because they have had a direct experience of how developed knowledge feels. In fact, Patrick took one of the English courses that Father Healy continued to teach even as his administrative duties mounted. That's when Patrick changed his major from business to English. As a result, Patrick got an introduction to what the liberal arts offers young minds. What the poet and critic Matthew Arnold described as the best which has been taught and said in the world. In the years that followed, I had the privilege of officiating at the wedding of Patrick and Amy, along with our friend Otto, and I never lost touch with the Leahys as their family grew and their careers took them in new directions. About 8.5 years ago, I received a call from Patrick. It was in my first days at the University of Scranton. Pat admitted that he had always been fascinated with higher education, and he asked, how about if I come and spend the day visiting with the vice presidents and hearing from them what it is they do? After that visit, he was hooked, sure that higher education was the most meaningful work that he could do. And with Amy's blessing, he moved his young family to northeastern Pennsylvania to do it. 8 years later, their family is bigger by 2 children, and this area is where the Leahys have put down their roots. In time, Patrick has made more than good on his desire to help change the trajectories of young people and their families by making higher education his life's work. Okay, that's all well and good, you might say. But what can this person at the podium tell you to help you really understand your new president? What kind of privileged insight can I share? Well, here's a start. By the time Patrick came to northeastern Pennsylvania, your new leader maturity through the traits that were already defining him way back at Loyola High School. He is resourceful. He is a great communicator. He's able to meet people where they are. He has an uncanny ability to understand their needs and to help them realize their dreams and their aspirations. In higher education at Scranton, he was so good that he kept getting promoted. Every 6 months, Patrick got promoted. Then we find he was even better in his new position. You can see why he was destined to become a president. And it helps that Patrick is the quintessential multitasker. He's the kind of person who could run the largest campaign in university history, teach a class in business management, help raise 4 kids all under the age of 10, and manage to play golf twice a week. Often, as he would assure me, with friends at the university. But whether it was figuring out a facilities plan, tweaking his syllabus, or even balancing his checkbook, he had a strange ability to get it all done. All on the golf course. It was a stroke of luck, or perhaps an act of providence, that none of his children were born as he was stepping onto the 18th tee. For holding up, hurrying with things with grace, love, and boundless hard work, Amy Leahy deserves a huge shout out today. And don't forget that in order to earn his doctorate in higher education, as he did during the years he spent in this area, Patrick traveled to Philadelphia 1 weekend a month, leaving Amy with those 4 kids. So for your new president, his head-spinning commitment to visit every academic and administrative department at Wilkes in his first 60 days amounts to only a minor acceleration of his usual pace. Although it just might be the thing in a long while to raise his handicap a stroke or 2. Now, Patrick has arrived at this particular university at this particular time and place, and that is no accident. Surrounded by people who know Wilkes infinitely better than I do, I can't presume to know your hopes and dreams and ambitions in specificity. But I do know enough about the situation facing all colleges and universities to underscore why good leadership is more important than ever. And be assured that in Patrick Leahy, you have a leader who understands the unique attributes of the Wilkes community that makes you uniquely equipped to meet the challenges that face you. Patrick recognizes that while universities must change and innovate, we must never lose touch with the traditions that define what we do best. And from my many conversations with Patrick over the years, I know that he is deeply inspired by, let me rephrase that, to use words that Patrick uses. He is fired up about the unique traditions that have always defined American higher education, and Wilkes in particular. One is the large share of Wilkes students who are the first in their families to attend college. Another is your incredible emphasis on mentoring, the faculty's commitment to the personal as well as to the academic development of each student. That kind of personal attention to students, that kind of devotion to their success that is characteristic of Patrick's vision was also central to the vision that Pat and I learned from Tim Healy. As he wrote, while universities are great at collecting gross results and averages and other statistical information, for those of us who work at universities, in our heart of hearts, those statistics and all that information really doesn't matter to us. What does matter is the individual contact, the teacher in the classroom, the head-on-head between student and faculty member, the arc across which our learning bangs into the energy of the young. That interchange is far more important for us than all the statistics and rules and regulations issued by the Office of the Dean of Students or the Provost or all the notions of the President and the Board of Trustees or anyone else on the good, the sacred ground on which we serve. Healy's message is eloquent, timeless, and true. But maybe he was too hard on the Board of Trustees. After all, in this case, the Wilkes Board has made an outstanding choice in Patrick Leahy. My friends, the promise and potential of this moment resounds down the streets and across the hills of this city, where it's impossible to overstate the importance of Wilkes University in its role of educating this region's daughters and sons and in its strength and civic engagement. Patrick, there will be no shortcuts on your path to new heights, both educational and institutional. But the rewards in reaching them will be incomparable for all the members of this community, most of all for your students. Since I remain a member of the English family, so John and I are 3 gainfully employed English majors here, I want to leave you with the words of a favorite poet, the Englishman John Donne, whom Patrick and I both studied as undergraduates. Donne's able to express this thought far better than I am. On a huge hill, cragged and steep, truth stands, and he that will reach her about must and about must go. And what the hill's suddenness resists, wins so, yet strives so. To will implies delay. Therefore now do. Hard deeds the body's pains, hard knowledge too the mind's endeavors reach. And mysteries are like the sun, dazzling, yet plain to all eyes. Keep the truth that you have found. Patrick, your endeavors will some days be arduous, but know always that your achievements, your work together with this university community will be dazzling. Members of the Wilkes University community, God bless you and your new president. God bless the sacred work that you will do together in higher education. There is no work more valuable, worthy of our lives. Thank you.